Hey guys, today we're talking about the 5 best strategies to implement in your business today to optimize your PPC campaigns. So you have a bunch of PPC campaigns running, you're selling a bunch of products, but you might not be profitable or not profitable enough to where you want it to be. So I'm going to share with you 5 strategies that you can implement today to try to optimize your PPC campaigns, make more money, spend less and make more, or spend more and make more. In fact, let me show you the last strategy that I'm gonna share with you today, what it did. So you see that big peak? That's like $700 yesterday. So that's from that last strategy that I'm gonna share with you today. But first, congrats to the giveaway winner. Bruno, congrats on winning the call. Contact me on Facebook to set it up. And if you wanna win the next one, I'm trying something new this time. Right now, if you're on your phone, screenshot this video, or if you're not on your phone, pull it out and take a photo with your Instagram, tag me at Brax, and then I'll choose someone from the people that tag me on Instagram. Bonus, I'll repost these stories on my own story. And I'll choose someone randomly in the next video. So method number 1 is something that I've talked about before on this channel, and it's called the bad ASINs method. You've probably seen it, but if you haven't seen it, recently Amazon implemented something new where you can manually target other ASINs that are your competitors. So you can create a campaign saying that I want to be listed, sponsored under that specific listing. So you can choose your competitors, whoever you want it to be, pay some money, and then be there inside that listing. So what the bad ASINs method is, you use that ASIN targeting thing, and then you go find bad ASINs. What I mean by bad is 2 things. So the first campaign would be targeting ASINs, or in other words, listings that have 0 reviews. Because either when you're launching or now, I'm assuming you don't have 1,000 reviews. But you can go and target these ASINs that have lower reviews than you, or even better, that have 0 reviews. If somehow they're getting traffic from somewhere, if somehow someone found that listing, you can be there at the bottom so that when they scroll down, they see yours, they like it better, it has more social proof, and they choose yours over theirs. The second idea here is to target bad ASINs in terms of the rating. So they could have a bunch of reviews, but they have low ratings, as in like 1 star or 2 stars. You can as well target those listings and get some sales because you have a better rating. For the full step-by-step, I did a whole video on that. I'll link in the description below. Don't watch it yet, just at the end of this video, click there and go watch how to do this whole thing. Number two is kill bad keywords. Now this one might be obvious, but sometimes you're thinking that you want to target your main keyword, which is usually like the biggest keyword, the one with the most traffic. The problem is, when you're trying to target that broad keyword, a lot of others are trying as well, so it might be too expensive. And you're competing with the highest and the best competitors and the ones with the most reviews. So again, it might be too expensive. So after a lot of time, you might realize that this is costing you way too much and it might not be worth it. Now, from my personal experience, I would try as long as possible not to stop targeting this keyword because I'm like, no, this is my main keyword, I need to target it. But what I've learned recently is that not only is it too expensive and not worth it, it's also not the way that some people buy on Amazon. Think about it, when you're trying to buy, let's say, protein, do you just search protein? Or do you search more specific to exactly what you're looking for? Let's say chocolate, cookie dough, protein, whey, whatever other keywords that you search. So when someone is usually searching those more broad keywords, they're in less of a buying mentality and more of a searching mentality. But when they're searching for the long tail keywords with less traffic, they're more in a buying mentality. They know exactly what they want. So PPC is going to be cheaper there. This is all to say that you should kill your bad keywords, download your data from your PPC campaigns, see what's above the ACoS that you can afford, and either stop them or decrease the bids. And even if they're your most important keywords, I would suggest, taking that decision yourself, but probably kill them. Tip number 3 is something that I learned recently, and I've been testing it recently, and I suggest that you test it as well. And it's to separate keywords that have a high search volume from your other keywords that have lower search volume. Usually the high search volume keywords, if you don't know what that means, it just means where a lot of people are trying to buy from this keyword, and they're usually shorter keywords and more broad. Lower search volume keywords are longer keywords. For example, gold standard, protein, chocolate, 32 ounce, is that right? And what I've learned recently is that those more broad, big volume keywords, if you put them in the same campaigns as the longer tail, shorter traffic keywords, the big ones bully the small ones. The ones with a lot of traffic would steal all the budget that you have on that campaign, and then those smaller ones won't get any left. So Amazon would feed those with the budget that you have. The small ones, sometimes, I'm sure you can see it in your campaigns, there are keywords that don't get any budget at all. They don't spend anything, nothing happens. So something that I recently started implementing is separating those bigger keywords from those smaller volume keywords. And the way that I know which one's which is I use Helium 10, Cerebro, that's the one that I use. And the way that I find out which ones are the higher volume keywords and which ones are the lower volume keywords is with a tool called Helium 10. And they have one tool called Magnet, where you can look up a keyword and it shows you the search volume. It's an estimate, but it's a better way to know what's bigger and what's smaller. So don't take the number as an exact, just compare. And if you want to try Helium 10, there's a link in the description that gives you 7 days free. And then 50% off the first month. And link is below, put code Brax50 and that should work. So the conclusion from this step is separate your bigger keywords from your smaller keywords, test it out, and then see if those smaller keywords start getting more traction from that new campaign, since now they're not competing with someone else and they're not being bullied by the bigger keywords. Tip number 4. Tip number 4 is to separate research campaigns from profit campaigns. I get this question a lot, whether in the Facebook group or in my messages. A lot of people say, I'm bidding super high, but I'm not #1 on PPC results. And that's because there's a lot of factors that go into where you end up with your PPC results. And one of them is the age of a campaign. So if a competitor has an older campaign that's been running for years and they bid lower than you, there's a high chance that they're gonna win the auction and be ranked way higher than you with PPC. So early on, I create something called a profit campaign, and that's something I learned from a lot of videos online. I'm sure you've seen it somewhere. And the point of that is to have my best keywords, my best converting keywords in that campaign. Now, on the other hand, I create something called a research campaign with a bunch of ad sets where I target keywords with broad, the same keywords with exact, and the same keywords with phrase. And that's to see which keyword does better where, because you don't know. You can't estimate which one's gonna do better in which match type, so I just test them all. Now keep in mind it's gonna cost you a bit more to test, but that's just part of the game. So yeah, this tip was to separate research campaigns from profit campaigns so that you can age the profit one and then win bids in the future, and so that you can keep finding new campaigns from that research campaign. Extra tip, something that I'm gonna try now, and that I've learned from one of my friends in the game, was that automatic campaigns, apparently one of my friends that does super well with PPC campaigns, they don't use it with the intent of getting as many sales as possible, but the mentality with their automatic campaign is this is for research purposes mostly. I don't want to say only because they still want to get sales, but mostly for research purposes. So they don't have an insane budget on it, they just let it go and find them keywords to then plug it in the research campaign to find which match type to then take it to the exact campaign.
Do they, for the research campaigns, do they use automatic?
No.
Okay.
If for research you use automatic, I don't know if I mentioned it, but for research, it's obviously manual because we're targeting broad, exact, and phrase. Last but not least, my 5th tip, and it's the tip that, as you saw in the beginning, those sales, it went up from 400 a day to about 700. Today's not even over yet and it's almost 600. And that tip is in order to improve your ACoS, which means make more profit from what you're spending on PPC, obviously try to raise your price. A higher price leaves a better ACoS with the same spend. Now this is something that you would do at your own risk. Obviously I'm not going to tell you to raise your price and then it's my fault later if it doesn't work out for you, as with anything else that I say on this channel. But be careful about when raising your prices and monitor your sales. You don't want to hurt your conversion rates more than anything. That's the most important part, which will lead you to lose ranking. But thankfully what I did to test it was I raised my price, and for that difference in price that I raised, I added a coupon on the listing. So let's say I raised by $10. I added a $10 coupon for the first few days just to test. So people see that $10 coupon. One, it's a way to get more eyeballs on your listing, which can convert to even more sales than usual. And then two, I just thought it would be, you know, since I'm raising that much my price, I'd give them that big of a discount to incentivize them to keep buying. And that was just a test. In the future, if it's doing well, I would probably remove the coupon. So that last tip is probably the simplest way to increase your ACoS. It's to raise your price. And from my experience, it's been every time that I try to raise my price, I sell the same or if not more. It's because usually my products are better than others, so hopefully yours are as well. And don't be afraid to test it. And now that I'm selling at that much higher of a price, I'm thinking, wow, those other 500 sales could have been, you know, $1,000 more if I had been selling that much. But try it, test it out, and obviously with the math, it should get you a better ACoS on your PPC campaigns. So that's my 5 tips on how to improve your PPC campaigns and how to optimize them. If you want more tips like this, make sure to join the Facebook group. I'll link in the description below. We're always talking about, especially topics like this one. We're always asking questions. There's a lot of people that help out. And if you want to learn even more, make sure to come to the event that we're organizing in Vancouver, March 15 and 16. The event's called Ecom Hub Summit. There's a link in the description. Go check it out, buy your tickets, buy your hotel through the link as well so that we're all staying in the same area. It's a huge Amazon FBA event, Facebook ads, marketing, all that stuff that you're implementing in your business. I'm honestly super excited to go see all the speakers. I'll put a screenshot here of everyone going. So if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you want me to do more 5 tips kind of videos, let me know in the comments 5 tips for what, and let me know if you do want more of these. And if you want to see the next video, subscribe and click on the bell, and I'll see you then. Peace.